Good day, everyone. This is Dave, and today I have come to visit the famous Lalbagh Fort, which can be, equivalent to a mini Taj Mahal here in the heart of Dhaka city, and it's located in the old Dhaka area. If you come to visit here, visit the Lalbagh Fort, for you the usual time will be during the evening period 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. and maybe during the morning times after 10 p.m. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. In the afternoon. So usually during the Sundays this fort is closed, so never ever come here to visit during the Sundays. As far as I can remember, I have come here for many times during the Sundays and got into trouble because this fort was closed. So you always come in here in the other days. And also the best time to visit this place, I believe, during the evening time, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. In the winter season. And if you come here in the spring, in the summer times, that it be a little bit, you could expect that it will be opened up till 6 p.m. maybe. Okay, so let me tell you some of the stories here. I'm now standing here in front of the mini Taj Mahal. This structure, the Lalbagh Fort, is a pretty gigantic structure, and it's probably the most important archaeological site in the entire Bangladesh area. So if you come to visit this place, it would be a very good experience for you. For foreigners, maybe it doesn't take too much money, maybe $3-4 as far as I'm concerned. It could be even more now. Okay, so this is the mini Taj Mahal, located in the heart of old Dhaka city. So this structure and this fort has got many tragic stories. This is one of the tragic places of the entire city. Why? First of all, if you look at the key infrastructure here, it's a tomb, and it's the tomb of Bibi Puri, the daughter of Shahista Khan. Shahista Khan was a great general. He was a pretty influential figure during the rule of Aurangzeb. Okay, so he was a pretty good man, but the unfortunate thing about this fort and her daughter was that he tried to build up this fort and he couldn't complete it. So if you take a closer look at the northern gate of Lalbagh Fort, which I will show you around after a few minutes, this fort is incomplete. So it's a partially built fort, and I think if you take a closer look at the infrastructure, it's kind of half built. So the remaining portion is never built. And behind you can see the mausoleum or the tomb of Bibi Puri. Let me show you around. So what is the greatest tragedy here? First of all, as Shahista Khan was building up this infrastructure, his daughter died suddenly, and it was an inauspicious death. And due to this sudden death of her daughter, he kind of abandoned, the building up of this infrastructure, and then somehow he left this place. But he built up this mausoleum in order to preserve the memory of her daughter. Okay, so it's quite gigantic structure. It's a square shaped building, and you could see many of the remnants of that period, including a gravesite here. Probably some of the children have been entombed here. Let me show you the mausoleum of Bibi Puri. So this is the tomb of Bibi Puri, who died maybe 350 years ago. Take a closer look. So this is the tomb of Bibi Puri. Now, why did she die? One of the greatest tragedies of this place that she died at a very early age, and she could have been the Queen of India, right? As she was the daughter of Shahista Khan, and there was a possibility of her being married to the son of Aurangzeb. So in Dhaka city, one of the greatest things that is very noticeable, that is very close to the Buriganga river, and it is very close to the Buriganga River. One of the things that comes to my mind that the waterborne diseases here were very frequent. And during the Mughal rule, there were many types of conspiracies. She could have been poisoned also, but as she died at a pretty early age, we could assume that she died of some sort of diseases, maybe some waterborne diseases. And it's a very tragic place. It's very similar to the Taj Mahal, which is located in India. And it's kind of, if you take a closer look, it's a very good sized building. It kind of resembles Taj Mahal here. Okay, so now let me take you to the northern gate of the infrastructure. There were some other tragic things which happened here as well. First of all, this amazing fort is an incomplete fort. As I told you earlier, we could only experience the half portion of this infrastructure. So if you come here to visit, you will be a little bit disappointed, but you should come here because this is the only structures, probably the largest structures that is existing, and it will give you some sort of relief from the chaotic environment that Dhaka is. Okay, so let me take you to the northern gate of the infrastructure. Now, what is the most important thing about this place? First of all, I personally believe that like all the Mughal structures you must have experienced, Taj Mahal, okay, this structure resembles the artistic capability of the Mughals. These buildings are very, very well built. But one of the key characteristics of this building is that if you take a closer look at this infrastructure, you will notice that from the distance it looks very small. But as you get closer, you understand the enormity of the infrastructure. They're very large, if you get close to them. But while you are at a distant place, it seems like very, very small. For example, let me show you this amazing tomb of Bibi Puri, the daughter of Shayasta Khan. Here is the tomb of Bibi Puri from a distant place. As you can see, it looks like a miniature version from here, but as we were very close, it was quite large, right? That is true about all the Mughal infrastructure here in Bangladesh as well as in India. While you are at a distant place, it seems to be like a very small structure, but as you get closer, it kind of gets enlarged, and it kind of shows up in your eyes as a very big structure. Okay, so I'm now going to be taking you to the amazing northern gate. So I was talking about this amazing structure, and there were some other tragic stories as well. First of all, if you think about Shayasta Khan's once residence, Shayasta Khan built up a residential building here. It was a palace-like structure which was called Choto Katra. Now, unfortunately, that Choto Katra is also destroyed by the people of Bangladesh. One of the reasons why it is destroyed, if you think about the land prices here, it's very high. Dhaka is a very densely populated place, so people have destroyed this amazing Mughal infrastructure to build up their own business centers, will build up their own residences. So they have destroyed the residence of Shayasta Khan as well. But his office amazingly survived. Here inside of this fort, you will see that the Darbar Hall or his office building is still sustaining, it still exists. It's just behind me. Let me show you that. So this is the Darbar Hall of Shayasta Khan. Shayasta Khan was a Mughal general. He fought in many battles, including battles in Chittagong. You must have visited Chittagong if you have visited Bangladesh. And only a few of his buildings are now existing. This is one of the buildings. This is his Darbar Hall, and it's a very gigantic structure as well. But his residential building, the Choto Katra, is now totally destroyed. I've shown to some of the peoples, this building. Now let me take you to the northern gate of Lalbagh Fort. The northern gate of Lalbagh Fort is probably the most important entrance. It was probably the most important entrance of this amazing fort, but it's almost destroyed now. But they have, renovated it, so it's now something still worth watching. Let me show you this amazing northern gate. So as it is quite obvious, it was probably the middle point of the fort, which we are now encountering, but unfortunately the rest of the structure is not in a very good shape. Okay. Now Shaista Khan's one of the tourists asked me, where is Shaista Khan's grave situated? It's tragic. I've searched in history books, I've searched through the internet, but there were no obvious answer to this question. First of all, Shaista Khan's whereabouts are now very difficult to manifest, because where he is engraved is not known to us. So it's a very tragic story. But one thing we can say, that some of his works are still remaining in Dhaka city. Behind me you can see that amazing Darbar Hall where his office used to be, and the structure is a 2-floor building. As you can clearly see, his office was in the 2nd floor building, as it used to be a very important garrison during the Mughal period, and as well as during the British colonial rule. Behind me you can see the amazing northern gate of Lalbagh Fort. This is the northern gate of Lalbagh Fort, and probably the most important gate still remaining. There used to be a 100 taka note in Bangladesh which possessed this amazing infrastructure. Now it doesn't exist anymore, but still from here you could clearly see that this structure is quite gigantic. It used to be the central gate of this amazing fort area, but it was damaged during the earthquake, and later on it was renovated, and now it's still standing here. But if you take a closer look, one thing that will be obvious to you will be that this was the centerpiece of the gateway, and the other portion of this infrastructure are not existing anymore. If you take a closer look there. So this was probably the center point of the entrance. Now it doesn't exist. The other part of it doesn't exist anymore. So as we know from history, it's a Lalbagh Fort is an incomplete fort, but it encompasses a huge area in the old Dhaka city. So if you come here, visit this place, of course you need, it would be much better for you, and it would be better than all the other archaeological sites, because this is the safest place that there is, and it also gives you some sort of relief from the chaotic environment of Dhaka city, because all the other places are quite chaotic, and there's a great deal of vehicles moving on, there's a great deal of noise. But inside of this structure, there are many gardens, so if you intend to take some rests or take some time out, it would be much better for you. And also the air and the environment is quite amazing. So from the amazing Lalbagh Fort, Dave.